Hi, my name is Charu Malik and I welcome you all to the third episode of my podcast series on Southern India. In this episode, I'll delve into a trip I made to Tamil Nadu and explore three gems: Coimbatore, Ooty and Coonoor. And I have to say, I was completely smitten by Coonoor. What a beauty! This was a short trip, 4 days, 3 nights. My travel partner for this trip was my mom. I share my day-wise itinerary as we go along. So, to begin with day 1, we flew into Coimbatore in the afternoon and headed to the Isha Foundation straight from the airport. The drive was well over an hour. We reached the ashram around 4:45 pm and spent the next 3 hours there, with the key highlights being 1. Visiting the Devi temple, 2. Being part of the 20-minute meditation session at Dhyanalinga, believed to have significant positive energies. 3. Trying some local snacks at the ashram's canteen. Yummy! Last but not the least, watching the light and sound show at 7 pm at the Adiyogi statue, a visual delight. We really enjoyed our visit, and if we were more prepared, we would have attended a yoga session, taken a holy dip in the Chandra Kund, and perhaps even planned to stay at the ashram for a couple of days. On our way back to the city from the ashram, we visited the Perur Patishwarar temple, which is a Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. And we grabbed dinner at a local food chain called Annapurna. Great dosas. I feel this was a brilliant half day spent in Coimbatore. Our stay overnight and breakfast next morning were at the Vivanta, Coimbatore. It was more of a business hotel. The room size was nice and big, and we had lovely pool, garden and terrace views. Overall, experience was good, service was great and staff was hospitable. They arranged a taxi for us for the Isha Foundation visit in Coimbatore, as well as a taxi for the next leg of our trip, which was Ooty and Coonoor, and then the final drop to the Coimbatore airport. Day 2. After a hearty breakfast at the hotel, we checked out and left for Ooty. As with most drives in South India, this one was lovely too. To begin with, lots of coconut and tall supari trees on the way, subsequently giving way to hills and clouds. Our first stop was Cattery Park. We were spellbound seeing the beauty of the Nilgiris, views of the tea plantations and the misty, dreamy clouds. This got us very excited about what all we were going to witness over the next 2 days in Ooty and Coonoor. Our next stop was the Botanical Gardens in Ooty, well maintained and very widespread. Please budget time if you enjoy parks and like seeing different varieties of trees, plants and flowers. There are many different sections here. We visited the main central gardens, the glass house, the cactus garden, the Italian garden and the Japanese garden. Next, we headed to the tea and chocolate factories. It was fascinating to see the entire tea making process live, from raw leaves to the final packaged product. This is a good place to buy some tea, oils and chocolates for gifting. Next on the agenda was the Doddabetta peak. Doda meaning big and Beta meaning mountain in Kannada. This is the second highest peak of South India at a height of 8,640 feet that offers great panoramic views. I loved the hill station vibe here and also enjoyed some hot filter coffee and varge, Ooty's most famous snack. Most of these are typical tourist spots in Ooty and find a mention in all the to-do lists and itineraries that you see online. However, a hidden gem we came across was the Thread Garden located opposite the famous Ooty Lake. This is an entire garden made of thread, consisting of several different flowers: lotus, lily, gladiole, tulips, gerberas, lupin, and so on. Such neat and intricate work, just wow! Anthony Joseph is the creator of this garden, who had 50 people work for 12 years, and they used approximately 6 crore meter of embroidery thread. A complete delight to witness this one-of-a-kind attraction in the world. And finally, we ended our sightseeing for the day at the Ooty Lake. People were enjoying boating here. It has a nice promenade with some shops for clothes and artifacts, some eateries and exhibits that made for great photo opportunities. I absolutely loved shopping at the TTDC souvenir shop. It had such cute and novel decor items for the house. Do check out my Insta handle, DestinationDialoguesbyCharu, for pictures and videos of all these attractions in Coimbatore and Ooty. I hope you enjoy seeing them. This night, we stayed at the Fortune Sullivan, an ITC property. It was a charming hotel. The reception looked straight out of an Agatha Christie playset. It got pretty chilly at night. We needed our jackets and the hotel arranged for a bonfire in the garden for the guests. In our room, given the chill, we had to use the heater. The buffet dinner and breakfast next morning were average, to be honest, but we enjoyed and appreciated the complimentary fruits, salted cookies and varge provided in the room. Day 3. We checked out from our hotel after breakfast and drove away from Ooty and towards Mysore to visit the Pykara lake. It was sheer magnificence, both the drive to and then the lake itself. Clean waters and lovely views reminded me of Europe's beauty. Boating is an option, though we just enjoyed the views and took plentiful pictures. It was amazing to see clear blue skies on one side and grey dramatic clouds on the other, all in one view. We were keen to also visit the Pykara waterfalls, but were told that in the winter months the falls dry up, so it wasn't worth a visit. However, on our way back, we made a few stops. First, Wenlock Down's nature trail, where apparently a lot of movies have been shot. We only made a short halt there, but one can climb a hill for views on the other side. The Kamraj Sagar Dam, visited by tourists to see different species of birds and flora-fauna. The pine forest leading to a beautiful lake. I found this absolutely gorgeous and it reminded me of my Meghalaya trip. Not many people are aware of or take the pain to stop here, but I would say it's a must-do. We then drove back to Ooty and visited the St. Stephen's Church. We also made a stop at Modi's, touted to have the best handmade chocolate. Now, it was time to head to Coonoor, which is about a 45 to 50 minute drive from Ooty. Our first stop here was Sims Park, which is quite big and well maintained. It has a lot of steps and requires much walking, so do gather some energy and stamina to visit this park. It was named after the British officer Mr. J.D. Sims, who was the Secretary to Government in 1874. Next, we visited the Lamb's Rock, which offers lovely views of the valley, and I believe it has some treks too for those interested. We really enjoyed our drives to Lamb's Rock and then further to Dolphins Nose. Lush greenery, tea plantations, mist, clouds, hills, and then you spot waterfalls amid all this. Just wow. Dolphins Nose and the views from there reminded me of the Western Ghats in Maharashtra in the monsoon season. Simply stunning. After a hectic day of travel and sightseeing, we reached our abode for the night, TeaNest. Time to call it a night. Day 4. Morning was the best time to explore the property and the surrounding area. TeaNest is a small boutique resort in the middle of a tea estate. Rooms are named after different types of teas like lemon, green and chamomile. I would strongly recommend this property to everyone. One tip if you do book a room here, opt for lemongrass or hibiscus. These rooms are like almost a house with a living room, one master bedroom, one small bedroom and a bath area. Outside, we had a little sit-out area, a cane swing and a lovely garden with gorgeous views of the sunrise and the hills. The walk from the resort in and around the area was delightful. When I stepped out around 7:30 am, the sun was shining bright and the skies were so clear and blue. The air quality was 20. Again, a welcome change from the metro cities like Mumbai and Delhi. Views were absolutely brilliant of the plantations, women plucking tea leaves, the sunrise, the moonset, lush greenery with mountains in the background and lots of different colors of flowers. The only sound one could hear was that of the chirping birds. I felt like I was in dreamland. Coonoor is dreamy and how. I walked till the TeaNest Annex, another property of the TeaNest, located about 700 meters away from this one, which has only 2 rooms, perfect for 2 couples or a small family. Once again, beautifully maintained with gorgeous views. By the time I got back to my room, the sun had disappeared and gave way to mist. In fact, the entire landscape had changed, which was completely mesmerizing. I must have taken over 100 pictures and videos during my walk this morning. I just couldn't get enough of the beauty and the views. At this point, I would urge you all to visit my Insta profile, Destination Dialogues by Charu, which will make my narration come alive for you. We had visited all the touristy to-do points the previous day, so I did some research on what all we could see today. After breakfast at the resort, we loaded our luggage into the taxi and drove away. Close to our property, we stopped at Needlecraft, a shop inside a bungalow which sells lovely cushion covers, bedspreads, table mats, etc. made of cotton and lace. We then visited All Saints Church, which had a very pretty garden area. Close by, we spotted some nice chai coffee places and shopping stores. Gaya Pottery, the Birdhouse Cafe, Kuhu's and Inco's Tea House, with the star attraction being a small retail store selling Acres wild organic cheese, locally made in Coonoor. It had great variety: Gouda, Feta, Parmesan, Cheddar, Monterey Jack, Gruyere. It was exciting to see cheese made in India. Next, we stopped at the Coonoor train station. Unfortunately, we couldn't do a train ride as the tracks were under repair post heavy recent rain. Nevertheless, the train station was worth a visit for sure. Once again, this gave me a feeling of being in Wonderland. We also stopped to pay a quick visit at the Mariamman temple. It was pretty from the outside but closed, so we couldn't see it from the inside, unfortunately. Our next destination was Wellington, Cantt. Such a beautiful area, so well maintained by the Indian Defence Forces. We enjoyed visiting the Murugan Temple, St. George's Church and Wellington Lake. Like before, the clouds and the mist added to the beauty. We then headed to 180-degree MacIver. This was the gorgeous villa used in famous Bollywood movies, Kapoor and Sons, and more recently, Sam Bahadur. Not only are the interiors of the house done up so tastefully, the outside gardens are very well maintained and the views of the tea plantations from the villa, absolutely lovely. Our last destination before leaving Coonoor and heading to the Coimbatore airport was a shop recommended by our driver called New Indian at the Coonoor bus stand. We bought freshly made barke and banana chips to take back home. I highly recommend this shop. To conclude, I have to say, Coonoor was dreamy. It was a delight and I left a piece of my heart there. I'm longing to visit Coonoor again. Next time when I do, I'd like to make Coonoor my base and stay put there for one full week, exploring the city and soaking in its vibe. To be honest, I felt this trip of mine turned out to be quite tight. It was 4 days and 3 nights with 1 night each in Coimbatore, Ooty and Coonoor. So it felt like we were on the move a whole lot. Next time, I'd stay 5 to 6 nights in Coonoor, enjoy walks in the morning, just leisurely strolls, see how the weather and thereby the landscape changes, visit the tea plantations, explore many different restaurants and cafes, eat a lot of varke and drink a lot of tea and filter coffee. Oh yes, and of course, make a day trip to Ooty via the toy train. I'd love to visit captivating Coonoor again soon. As always, do visit my Insta page for pictures and videos of this mesmerizing trip. My handle is Destination Dialogues by Charu. Take care and see you soon.